Welcome to the Ray Bros Nerd Show. I'm your host, Jonathan, with my brother, Zach.
What's up, guys?
We're at episode 6, which is not as epic as 5. So, there's a lot that's been going on in the gaming world because my brother and I, first we went from playing Mafia 3, then we kind of moved on to Battlefield 1 for a short period of time.
Very
And
short.
then, very short on his end.
Mhm.
Mine end, even like, I kind of feel bad, but it's like as much praise as I gave for that game, I haven't played it since I've gotten Titanfall 2 that he kind of sold me on. And, oh, if you hear that, there's a dog with us, which I think is kind of neat. And then I've been playing Infinite Warfare, but only the zombies section of the game. So, which is funny because my brother's like, the single player is great, and he kind of wants to talk about it a little bit today without trying to give too many spoilers. And I was joking with him earlier because, like, sometimes we like talk a long time before we actually get down to podcasting.
Mhm.
But I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I'm like, we should try to change our podcast sometimes to spoiler like something, because we like burn through.
See, and that's
so
the
much.
tricky thing. Like, I wouldn't care spoiling it for the podcast. It's more, I don't want to spoil the experience for you because
Yeah.
I genuinely think it's super worth your time to play both campaigns. But like, there's just these moments where I'm like, and that's the thing. Like, I finished Titanfall last week, but I can replay it in my head like it was yesterday because it's like, so far it's stuck with me. They've already said they're going to make a sequel, even though the game didn't sell well. But like, I want that campaign, that new story right now because of the way the other one ends.
Yeah, and which is funny to me because, like, I know it's called Titanfall 2, but I never had an Xbox One, so I never experienced their first Titanfall other than through some videos, some gameplay that I would watch. But even though it's Titanfall 2, so if you're interested in getting it, it doesn't make you feel like it's a sequel necessarily.
Well, the first game didn't have a campaign.
Not at all.
Like what they did is,
I thought it did have a campaign in the first one.
not necessarily. What they did is because this was a new studio, and if you don't know, Respawn Entertainment, who makes Titanfall, made Titanfall 1 and 2, and I believe their next game is going to be a Star Wars game. I don't know exactly what it's going to be about, but that's their next project. That studio was made by the guys who made Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first Modern Warfare, back when it was Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Before they just started naming the games after, Call of Duty, insert title here.
Yeah.
Those guys made that. They made the second one. They worked on a bunch of the third, and then they left because basically Activision is a money-making machine. They wanted to do something new and fresh and couldn't, so they made Respawn. Now, they went from the biggest publisher in the world, which is Activision Blizzard.
Yeah.
It's not even just, Activision or Blizzard. It's those two combined, which are the two kings.
It's like the horses.
Yeah. So they started their own studio, started work on Titanfall 1. That got published by EA. And they were focusing on the multiplayer, so they didn't want to, take the limited resources they have and make a campaign. So what they did was you would go into an online lobby, and there was, 8, however many maps are in the game. They would you go into a normal multiplayer match, you're playing against, the computer and bots, which the game still does.
Yeah. Which I find neat because it could make it easier to transition for players like me, who might just suck at shooters or whatever, or maybe not be 100% into them. That at least they're killing somebody or something.
Which is why I appreciate Titanfall 2's multiplayer so much. The attrition mode, which is the one that I play, which is basically deathmatch, but you also get points for killing the AI units, which can be normal grunts, which are super easy to kill. They can be these smaller, droids. Then they can also be these bigger droids called Seekers, I believe, or something like that. So what they did was they put you in a multiplayer match, but then in the top right corner of the screen, there would be a picture of whoever your commander is or other allies, like explaining what's going on around you.
Yeah.
And
it's like Star Fox.
Yeah, kind of. But like, you weren't playing specific matches. You were just playing, multiplayer matches where you do the normal gameplay, but then there's like cutscenes at the beginning and end that are this, change depending on what faction you're playing as.
So almost like Battlefield 1, how they did it on that one too.
Exactly, which you could look at it almost and go, hey, there was already a mode like this. It was Titanfall single player.
Yeah.
So that was EA, borrowing something. But it wasn't even, technically though, it had a little more depth than that in terms of like, you'd have the guys on screen explaining the story.
Yeah.
So you'd have the opening cutscene, the closing cutscene, whatever. But they probably cutscenes totaled in like 10 minutes long and then like however long the little player match icon. So this is their first time doing a single player campaign for Titanfall, I should say. They made Modern Warfare, which a lot of people still love. It's still kind of fun. They've released a remastered version of it. It's still pretty fun, but it's very much like rudimentary and like a shooting gallery.
Yeah.
But
which is funny because I still haven't even played. It's funny because I got Titanfall the night he told me, and like we said earlier, podcast, like Zach and I are both like adults with very active like work lives and then home lives and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing is for my work, like even though I got the game, I had to go out of town like for 3 days, and then before that, like I had like busy work like laundry and stuff to get ready to go out of town. So I went out of town for 3 days, but when I finally came back, then I got to play it finally on that Friday. I came back, if I remember correctly, and I just played the single player campaign, which is actually a lot of fun so far. What I played with it, or played. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds kind of sounds provocative. Yeah, played that
What's up, BT?
But like I was saying, like it doesn't make you feel like, because I'm the kind of gamer like sometimes I feel like I have to play the first one to understand the second one, and that's how like a lot of games are. But this one, I didn't feel that way. Like I felt like I fit right in with everything that was going on. Like I didn't feel like I was completely like, who is this guy? And what the fuck is this dude? You know what I mean? So I still got to play the multiplayer, but I've been trapped playing Call of Duty Zombies. Which
I was about to say, like, what's really going on is Zombies has like
encased me.
Yeah, but I mean, so there's elements of like Titanfall, and I'm hoping maybe you can find the time sometime between now and the next podcast to play through it.
Oh, I should, because tomorrow I don't have to go to work, so it's nice.
Because really, on easy, I feel like tops the game should only take you another 3.5 hours. Not even.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.5 on easy. Like, I'm trying to think of like tough battles, and there was one that I kept intentionally failing because you get these loadouts for your Titan instead of like on the multiplayer where you choose which Titan you want to bring into battle. Single player, you get to change between them. It's kind of like Mega Man, where you kill a boss and you get their loadout.
Their power, yeah.
And then there's other ones you also just find on the ground. And then there's one that you get.
Oh god, he wants to. Like, I can see in his face that he wants to burn the spoiler out there.
Yeah, there's things about where this campaign goes that I've never experienced before in a game.
Uh-huh.
Like Call of Duty, I've experienced everything in that campaign before, but it's really well done. It's really well paced. Really great visuals, like really awesome.
But it can be considered reiterate.
Like, yeah, it is an iterative game, like in terms of gameplay. Not for a Call of Duty, but in terms of like this stuff has existed in games before.
Yeah.
There's moments in Titanfall 2, especially. There's one in particular. Like, okay, so the mission John's on is like 3 missions in. He just finished that mission, so the next mission he'll be starting is where the game really picks up. It finds like what it wants to do, because they're literally just like, we want to play around with this mechanic. And what they do is they kind of break it up chapter by chapter while also serving as a tutorial.
Yeah, once again, I'm in still a tutorial phase. And I can tell too, because it like holds my hands at certain parts. Like not even because I put it on easy or something, but it's like, hey, go left instead of right. And I'll be like, nah, I want to go right, and then I die or something. You know what I mean? Or
like it's at the point right now where I'm like, part of me wants to call off tomorrow and watch you play this.
watch the game.
Just watch your reaction because like I was in pure glee.
Oh, nice.
Like,
will it beat my Battlefield 1? Because the single player
Yes.
experience, I love that.
in terms of fun.
Oh, okay.
Like Battlefield, really well. Did you ever finish the fighter pilot story in Battlefield 1?
No, what happened was Titanfall 2 happened, and then zombies happened, and
Zombies happen is what really.
and then, yeah.
Like
and,
it's dangerous.
and then like adult life, it's like sometimes when I see like go online, and this is no offense to anybody, but I go online and play online, and then I see someone's like at an elite status, and the game's been out for like a week. I'm like, geez, I'm like, what are they doing? You know what I mean?
And that's why I think you'll enjoy Titanfall Online because, and I really, honestly, you should play attrition. You could definitely play attrition, but also another good one for you to play would be I think it's called Bounty Hunt. And Bounty Hunt is the same thing as attrition, where there's like other enemy soldiers, but it's literally your goal for the first like. What it does is there's a bunch of enemy soldiers that like drop in. You go and kill them. You get their money. You get money for killing them.
Yeah.
Once all the like AI is wiped out, and at the same time you are fighting other pilots, but it's only like 5v5. So most of what you're killing is the grunts. Once all the grunts are killed, then it opens the banks, as they call them, and you have to run to the bank and deposit your money, and then you have to hold square. You can't just tap it and it goes in. Like you have to sit there and hold it and like make sure nobody kills you, because if they kill you, you lose half your money, which you still then have to deposit in the bank, and then they get a certain percentage of it.
Yeah.
So if you die with a bunch of money and an enemy kills you, you're helping their team.
You're screwed. Yeah.
So I think
helping them, like you said,
and that's the thing you're talking about. You know, these players who are already level 65, and you're like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to compete with these guys? Like,
yeah.
These modes, those two modes especially, the other ones are a lot more tough and like focused. Those modes especially force you into a situation where you get to kill AI.
Yeah.
You know, like a single player.
Which that could also bring in like a whole balancing issue as is, like with all multiplayer games. And I don't know how they would fix it, because I don't know how you program that, or if you even can. But I know like a lot of times I'll go in as like a level 4, and I'll get matched up with like level 23s, 24s.
Mm-hmm.
And like in a perfect world, I wish there was just like I get into a game with a bunch of me's.
See, but that's what I'm saying.
I feel like against myself, I would do okay. You know?
That's why I'm saying with these AI guys, you constantly feel like you're doing something.
Yeah, like you're progressing. Yeah.
And because those things, they don't count as like pilot kills, they count as grunt kills, specter kills, whatever the other ones are killed. Reavers, I think. Yeah. I think it's grunts, which are humans, specters, which are bots, and then reavers, which are like big bots. It constantly gives you the feeling that you're actually doing something.
Like you're participating, yeah.
And then, you know, you kill a bunch of those, you call in your Titan, then, you know, as a lower level person, you start going after them.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about Titanfall, and this is kind of what I was, like, wanting to tell John. I think I said it last week when we were talking about, like, it's a game you have to play. Like, you have to feel...
Oh, yeah, I guess I can talk about that, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, you have to feel the way it feels, but then you go into multiplayer, and it's even more chaotic. It's even more awesome because, like, I was playing earlier today, and my Titan, one of the loadout things I have for it is when it's, like, in a state where all my shields are down, like, I'm going to blow up no matter what I do, even if I get a battery, it'll auto-eject me in stealth into the air. You shoot way up in the air, and then you just look down and you try to see if, like, there's enemies around.
Or you can pop some people off.
Yeah, and then your Titan explodes and hurts people around it. So I was going toe-to-toe with this guy's Titan, and we're wearing each other down. We were the same loadout, which I use this, like, super heavy one. He just so happened to get me first. I shot into the air, and because I was in stealth, he didn't see me pop out.
Yeah.
So I shoot up into the air, and then I, like, boost jump, because you have, like, boosters.
Yeah.
So I can slow my descent, land on top of his, pull the fucking battery out, and then jump back on it again and drop a grenade in there, take his Titan out on foot. Like, there's these dynamic...
Like, can you imagine that guy's like, yeah, get set, power down or something, you know?
And that's what happened. His, like, thing, his, like, specialty loadout thing didn't have defense for people. They call it rodeoing when you hop on the Titans.
Yeah.
He didn't have that defense measure.
Oh.
So I got up there, pulled the battery.
So had that weakness.
He's still walking, like, distracted because there's other enemies, grunts and stuff running around, other Titans. Jump back up there
started
again.
to pay attention to you, who's like a mouse to him, technically, like in retrospect. Yeah.
And that's how that game is balanced, is like, you get your Titan, you feel like a badass, but at the same time, they can jump on you. They have loadouts, like, if you choose, you can carry, you know, a weapon that hurts Titans. You know, if you call in your Titan, and it happens to land on another Titan, destroys that other Titan.
Nice.
I had that happen to me. Like, so there's these, like, and this most depressing thing about Titanfall 2 right now is I hopped in today, went to, like, the most popular game mode, and there was only 1,400 people playing. Yeah. 14,000.
Well, you have to... I understand why that is, and, like, not to keep on sucking on the knob with the Titanfall, but last week my brother told me, he's like, you have to experience it yourself. You have to understand. And when it comes to, like, mech-type games, like, I haven't played a lot, and if anything, the last one I remember playing was this game called Armored Core. But when it comes to, like, a mech, where, like, you're an actual whole robot, there's certain ways they could have gone with it. They could have gone where you're a complete annihilator, right? Or you're, like, in it, and you're, like, so slow it becomes, like, more of a chore to be in it, and easier to be the pilot, or easier to be the ground troop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think they actually balanced it, like, super well, because when I got in that thing, I did feel like a badass, but it moved around easy. Like, the movement on it was easy. And I like how they added it's like a simple thing, but to me, like, as an old school gamer, like, I really enjoy that they did it. But when you step, the controller vibrates, but not like an inappropriate vibrate. It's like
light.
It's like a yeah. Yeah. So I felt like a badass, but I was totally vulnerable at the same time, because you have certain shields and stuff you have to use, or if you're going against another Titan, you know, and you can't protect yourself, next thing you know, your health bar, well, I guess it is a health bar, but your power bar and stuff, like, it's the same
you
thing.
get, like, a shield that can be recharged, but then you have health that can't be recharged.
Well, they have it, like, for one, I only have 2 of the things, so I don't know that much about it yet. But the one I have now, I don't have an actual where I can pull. There's a piece where you can pull the weapons in and shoot it at them. I don't have that one. I have the one where I hit R2 and it's like a standard shield, so I can move around it and then get back behind that shield to protect myself from incoming fire.
You want to hear something cool?
Go ahead.
You can change your loadout at any time.
Yeah, I saw that on the pause menu. Well, it told me to do that because I kept on losing in a certain part. I'm not going to tell you, but I kept on losing in a certain part. It's like, maybe you want to try this one. I was like, no. It made me want to, like, learn how to fight with the loadout that I prefer. You know what I mean? Well, for now, because I only have 2, but I'm sure the next one I'll be like, oh, I like that one more. You know what I mean?
So far, there's only one that I don't really like using, and it's called Scorch. It's like a flame one. Like, I'd have to practice with it to, like, get the hang of, like, how it works.
But that means you have to get closer, probably, than...
Yeah, it is, like, the one I like right now is just, like, fucking raw, fucking minigun.
Yeah, I think I used the same one. It's like a 240 thing.
Like a shield. You pull up a normal shield that, like, goes, like, around your fucking thing, and you're like, ah!
Yeah, the one I like is, like, it's a 2... The only thing I can describe it as a 240 gun, 240 Bravo. And so it goes, you know, has that regular shot. But then you can lock on. You have to lock on first. But if you lock on, then it shoots a whole barrage. It just...
That's the one I use the most in the campaign.
Yeah.
The one I'm talking about is, like, different from that. It's like, it has a lot more, like, health, and, like, you can run in it, but it's like a fucking jog. It's it's a very heavy unit.
Yeah, the one that I use for the single player, it's like you can run, but there's also a speed, like, where you like shoot.
Yeah, you get the.
I know we're doing like a lot of noise things, which you can't. Yeah. But like, just imagine like in Dragon Ball Z or something to give you a reference. Like when they slide to the left, it's the same difference, I guess. But anyways, let's get off of that. The Titanfall 2.
Well, like I'm hoping you have the time to blast through the campaign because like there's like all of the like you have 2 missions ahead of you that are fucking awesome and super creative and things I've never done before. The next one after that I felt was a little weak. And you'll understand why. It's mostly a traversal level. You do a lot of like the traversal, which is fun, and they have a fun little twist on it. But then as soon as that mission's done, I believe last 3 missions are some of the most amazing shit I've played in like a Hollywood blockbuster action shooter like ever. Like there's one aspect that I want to tell you about. Which is a
weird sentence in the first place.
There's one that I don't want to tell you. I want you to experience it. But there's another one that like I want to tell you so bad because like it'll literally make you feel like the hair on your balls is growing as you fucking do it.
Oh god!
Because you feel like the most badass fucking
thing in the history of time.
Yeah, and that one's even out of your Titan, but it's so cool.
Is it like the feeling I got when I played Final Fantasy VII and had Knights of the Round for the first time? I was like, fuck you! And it's just like,
Probably better.
Probably better. I'm trying to, like, now that it makes me think, like, what game that I just feel, like, the most, like, undeniably, like, just reckless on it. And I'm trying to think, like, I feel like there's more one than Final Fantasy VII, but it's like, for that one, like, you had to earn to get the Knights of the Round Table. I'm not really going to discuss here because it's a longer process, but like once you get it, you like use it all the time. Well, if you have
if you have your limit break,
yeah, or whatever. But
this, it's. I almost feel like
is it like you ever seen Tropic Thunder?
It's not like that. What I have something directly I can compare it to, but I almost feel like that's a spoiler. You ever seen the movie Wanted?
Yeah.
Okay, remember the scene at the end of the movie when he goes into like the assassin's base or whatever, and he's just running. He's like, brah, 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 brah. And he's like, that one part where he's like, shoots that dude, and he's like, yeah, and like tosses the gun.
Yeah.
That scene, like, this is the closest you can get to that scene in that movie, but in a video game.
Yeah.
And I don't want to tell you how they pull it off, but man, you need to play this campaign.
Like, my favorite shooting scene like that is in Equilibrium. At the end of the movie when he's going against find the head president and he's fucking pissed and he's off the drugs and it's just like because they do gun kata and that so he's like killing the shit out of everyone.
Yes.
And then at the final, it's like a video game that movie. You should watch it if you've ever seen it. At the end, you have the final boss and there's a guy that's like his crony and he goes to face him. And the guy, when he goes to face him, he's like, well, the funny thing is, he's like, I've been practicing with you, blah, 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 blah. So in your brain, before you see it, God, I don't want to spoil this. I'm sorry. It's an 80s movie, so if you haven't seen it by now, go fuck yourself.
It's not in the 80s. It was Christian Bale.
It is Christian Bale, but I'm pretty sure it was made in the... Well, I'll look it up later.
It was like 2000.
I don't know. Pretty much every podcast, when I say a date, it's wrong, so just bear with me. But, like, he goes up to fight him. I know the reference, I just don't know the date, damn it.
Too much zombies.
Yeah, too much, which I'll talk about in a minute. But, like, he walks up to him, he's like, I've been practicing. And fucking Christian Bale just goes, cuts his ass in half with a katana, and the fucking main boss, or the main guy, who's like, oh, fuck. So will it make me feel like that?
Yes.
From a cinema, because, like, that, like, now I'm thinking, because that's not my favorite scene of all time in film, but when it comes to that type of genre, I think it is, you know?
Yeah, it'll make you feel like that, obviously without a sword, but especially if you...
without the sword, so not sword.
Like, especially if you like the characters and stuff, it will make you feel like that. It'll make you feel like...
just pissed his jumps, or just...
You know what I love about that Equilibrium scene? Is that the first thing you see drop is his fucking tie.
Tie, yeah.
That's so cool.
And then his, like, clothes, and he's like...
And he just slides apart.
I just had Monica watch it for the first time a couple weeks ago. That's why it's like fresh in my memory. And like, she was watching it, I think, for the first time, and I was watching it probably for like the 20th plus time.
I I love that movie.
It's like one of those things like I try to avoid quoting, especially like when you watch something with somebody new, you're like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Spoiler alert, Sean Bean dies.
I'm sorry.
Just like he does in everything he makes.
Does he? Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that about Sean Bean?
Mm-mm.
I think like the one TV show he was on was like the only thing he didn't die in.
Oh, that's sad.
Like, you really didn't get into Game of Thrones, did you?
No, and which people are going to hate me on, but I watched like the first season.
You remember the end? No, because
I don't even think I finished. I'm sorry. People are going to be berate right now.
He gets his fucking head cut off in the end of the first season. Sean Bean's only in the first season.
Oh yeah, the king, which I guess I'm sorry. I'm not even going to talk.
Look,
Game of
it
Thrones.
doesn't matter because like Game of Thrones is like ridiculously. It was so boring for one season that I just couldn't get back into it. I couldn't force myself to watch that season.
I think I watched up to where the guy. See, I don't even know the character, so it's going to be pointless for me to talk about it. Where he cuts his chest with a knife to impress the dragon lady. There's a lady with dragons. And then he dies because he gets infected and shit. As the dog drinks water in the background. You don't remember that? I think that's season 2. It's not even...
That sounds like some kind of weird, fucked up dream.
That's what happened in real life.
I would do...
He's like...
It happened in real life?
Well, I mean in
the Dragon Mother?
In the stupid show. I hate you. Why do I come over here? Stupid Jared Leto.
I still haven't seen that. I think I'll watch the extended cut.
Yeah, probably it would be best. I technically went to watch it twice. The first time when I went to watch it, literally there's a dude on his phone the whole time. And instead of kicking him out, they had him turn off his phone, which meant turn off for a little bit and turn it back on. And I told Monica, I was like, I have to get out of here.
But if you ask most people, it sounds like, can you blame them? I heard what's his name is in the movie.
He said he was checking emails. I mean, I feel like the movie's better a little bit more than checking emails.
I don't know, depending on...
It looked like it was Yahoo email. The only reason I know that because I have Yahoo email.
Oh, that's fucked up.
It's sad.
It's Gmail, dog.
I know. As much as technology-wise, I know how to do things, it's I still have Yahoo email.
Well, that's the thing. Facebook, you and Dad are doing shit on Facebook, and I'm like, you could do that.
Well, Dad only types in all capital letters. So, whenever you read anything by Dad, even if it's hey, have a nice day. Have a nice day! I ain't checking tonight, motherfucker! It's holy shit! Calm down.
He does, and, his explanation for it, he jokingly says it's so people pay attention when he writes something, but I know the reality is
he can't turn off caps locks.
No, he knows how to turn it off and on. It's easier for him to read that way.
Yeah, it's just increase your screen size or whatever.
Yeah, I can zoom in for him.
Yeah, it's but I secretly love it because it's every conversation because I remember learning English lit when I was in middle school, going into high school or whatever, or even grade school. They're all right, when words are capitalized, it's more of an exclamation, more of a verbalization. And there's an exclamation point at the end, that means they're yelling. So in school, you would have popcorn reading where you would read and then say popcorn, and then somebody else would read. So the book would come to me right by an exclamation point. I'm like, oh, I'm freaking ready. And then Jenny went to the washer machine. Popcorn. The teacher's like, oh my god.
We're never calling on him again.
Yeah, that's how I kept out of stuff. I stayed on the wall.
Okay, so...
Anyways, that was a weird tangent.
Yeah, so hopefully Titanfall 2 you'll beat, and quite frankly, I'm going to be honest, we can maybe touch upon it again next week, but once you beat it, text me, or once you get to... Because it shows the name of the mission at the bottom of the screen. Once you get to cause and effect, and the moment that I'm talking about happens, because you'll know. It'll tell you press a button, and you'll know.
What if I dead fish it? Will you be mad? What if I, just to be an asshole? Because I think you and I sometimes enjoy being assholes to each other.
Yeah.
So, what if you're how was that moment? And I'm just yeah, oh wow. What if I bust out the oh wow?
See, but then there's moments where it's yeah, man, the song Planets.
Oh my god.
Or no, Acid Rain was the first one. The song Acid Rain might have been some. I thought you were fucking with me.
No, I enjoy it. I'm sorry.
I can tolerate a lot of what's on that album, but there's 2 songs that I was like, they
This is Avenged Sevenfold, by the way,
Yeah.
just in case.
And you texted me that, and then
I texted him. Then I secondly like planets, and next thing you know, my phone's ringing, and my brother never calls me.
no, I've been talking on the phone, but I was like, if I have to text this and I can't read his I can't tell in a text if he's being sarcastic or not. Because that one totally sounded like sarcasm. Like you can't not like that song, right? With like a bunch of question marks. So he's like, right. And so I'm thinking he's being a smartass, but I called him and he's like, no, that was pretty good too. I'm like, you're a fucking
like he went off on this tangent, kind of. Well, not really, but like he was just like, they said on their podcast and blah 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 blah.
They even hate it.
They even hate it. But I'm like, but they just sang it live 5 minutes ago. Oh shit, awkward.
The only reason for that is because it fits in with the new album, and they haven't had too much time to perform those songs live. Mm-hmm. So they went with like.
Look, do you hear the straight running through town?
The songs are shit.
Yeah, he hates them. But the funny thing is I was being serious. I don't know why I attached to those songs. It's one of those weird things that they're probably really not good, and the band could probably tell me to the face. They're like, nah, man, those are the worst songs ever. I was high on 10 types of peyote.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I was in a real dark place when I wrote that, and I was just like, I bet I could write anything, and anybody will love it.
Yeah.
And that's the song, and you're like,
I had a basket of kittens that I murdered, and I came up with the song Planets because I tossed them into the planet or something, you know.
Like, they collided and shit.
Yeah, they collided and shit when I killed them, and I'll just be like, it's fine. I still like it.
And that was the thing, is like, at that point, like, the stage had been out for like a week, 2 weeks, something like that. I've listened to it countless times, and there's this amazing new album out that's like groundbreaking, and like it literally is a concept album. There's actually an Easter egg I want to show you later. It'll take like 2 seconds.
That's
that album. You've listened to the whole thing now, right?
Oh, plenty of times.
You remember the song Simulation?
Not 100%, no. I've been listening to the first 2 songs like religiously. Like, The Stage is like one of those ultimate songs for me now. You know what I mean? Like, it's a complete song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what I mean by that, there's a lot of songs I love. And I'm not saying The Stage is my favorite song. My favorite song of all time is Korn's No One's There. And it's hard. It's going to be hard to explain. But because that's another complete song. And what I mean by that is, like, the intro's good. It's telling a story. The middle's good. It has that classical rock guitar riff in the middle. And then at the end, you know what I mean? The outro is like, it ends perfectly, but it doesn't sound like a reiteration of what they've already said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And No One's There kind of does that, does a reiteration at
Well, I mean, that's any story is supposed to...
Beginning, middle, and end. But in song...
it's supposed to end where it begins. Like, it's supposed to reference the beginning.
Yeah. But in the song, you know, a lot of times the end sounds just like the middle, sounds just like the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And The Stage, none of that is true, but it's oh god, this is like musical lit. but it's like a complete thing.
Well, you can ask Emily what I put those songs into. Is I categorize them as perfect songs. Even songs that I'm not like a huge fan of, I can listen to and go, this is a perfect song. It satisfies everything that a song needs. It goes places, it comes back, it, you know, drops down, it goes high, like whatever, like Come On Eileen. That is a perfect song.
Yeah, because it starts off da, 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 you know, it's kind of like a
Come On Eileen. Like anybody can like it's a song that can get anybody moving, like
yeah,
you want
it's
to sing
catchy
along.
and stuff, yeah.
You know, so there's songs like that that are perfect songs. And I feel like that's what you think of that Korn song. Stage, I feel like, is the same way. Like Bohemian Rhapsody, that's a perfect song.
Yeah.
Love It or Hate It, perfect song. In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, it's a perfect song. There's, like, even if you don't like it, it's a perfect song. It fits what it needs to be. It is what it is. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And my favorite song on the new album is, oh my gosh, I've listened to it 1,000 times.
What number is it?
It's the 3rd song. It's,
okay. I don't remember that one. I looked up what the second one was called because I like the lyrics of that one.
Paradigm.
Yeah, Paradigm. I was like, what the hell's a paradigm? Because I really didn't know. I had to look it up.
And isn't it so smart, like, what the song is?
Well, it's like, and I felt like an actual adult because, like, and, like, proud of myself because instead of like, not looking it up and just accepting it, you know what I mean? Like, I took the time to, like, look up the word, which I don't think many people do that anymore.
I'd hate to look at my Google history because there's, like, a million topics that I've, like, searched every day. Like, if I hear even a tiny word I've never heard of, I'm like, what's that mean?
Yeah, like, there's no shame in it. Yeah.
Like, I need that knowledge. Like, if there's something I don't understand, like, I did a super deep dive on the Electoral College this fucking election.
Yeah.
And, like, guess what? We don't live in a democracy. We live in a republic.
Yeah.
We even say to the republic for which it stands, like, but we keep calling it democracy, but we live in a republic, so there's an Electoral College that our votes are worth more than people in California's votes, so...
Well, the way that they balance it, I kind of like it in a weird way. We're not going to get into politics.
No, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, there's no shame in like Googling something. But the reason that song is so smart is because Paradigm. That it's a story of an android who's like, I'm going to accept that I'm a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And, I shed my human side. I'm a paradigm. Like, it's saying I'm a paradigm shift.
Yeah, I'm like
something that's going to change everything.
Yeah,
so good. That whole album is so good.
And you know what the weird thing about it too? And I don't know if I should give it kudos for this. This might be like a weird kudos for the newest album of Avenged Sevenfold. Is there's no censored version or no edited version or unedited version.
Well,
when it comes to like swear. Yeah, but you have to understand it's like so it makes it versatile for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a Korn album, like. For some parents, they might not get their child a Korn album because it has profanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for this, which they kind of skate the line because they say "damn" a lot in a certain song, or even
and especially "goddamn."
Yeah, they
can't say that on TV because it offends Christians and Catholics.
Well, yeah, in religion or whatever, but they say that on there, so it's like it's kind of pushing the boundaries. But either way, that's like a weird praise to say that it's like there's. It's just like one version. It shows
maturity.
Yeah, there's like one version.
Yeah, they don't need to rely on fucks and shits and, all that.
To complete an album, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying I don't like that because, man, I listen to songs that swear more than Banshees. But,
And technically, this album is relevant to the podcast because the two games we've been playing the most right now are Call of Duty and Titanfall. The whole album, the beginning... And that's the thing. That's why I need to explain to you that Easter egg about the stage. Mm-hmm. That song's even more fucked up than you think it is.
That video kind of explains a lot.
Well, it goes even further than that. Like, I'll explain after the podcast. That's too in depth for the podcast. But it starts out focusing on AI.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it transitions into space. And have you listened to the speech in Exist yet? You may not agree with a lot of it, but it is...
I don't think I've had a chance to, because what happens is, like, a lot of times when I listen to radio, it's me obviously going from, like, a business to my work or whatever,
mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it'll just be, like, talk radio I listen to because it keeps my mind...
I do podcasts in the morning.
Yeah, like, rolling a certain way. Like, I told my brother, I'm like, on the way, I had to go down to Camp Atterbury. If you don't know what that is, it's in, like, southern Indiana, kind of, like, on the borderline... 40 miles from Kentucky, I think. And we live in northwest Indiana, up by Chicagoland, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And driving the whole way down there, like, selfishly, I listened to our whole podcast down there because it kept, like, the time rolling. Because when you're driving 3 hours, even though I've driven much longer times than that in the military and stuff, but when you're driving 3 hours in the little compact car that they gave me, I had to have something that was, like, talk. Instead of, like, music sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something you can process and think about, not just, like, nod your head.
Yeah.
Like, it's something that's keeping you engaged, like, people talking.
So I still, like, I've completed the album a couple times, but it's, like, getting the fully listen. Like, you can listen to songs, but you can also, like, fully, which is, like, such a, like, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like a hippie term. It's like, so that's like the song Little Piece of Heaven. Like, I've listened to that song, but I don't know why, but, like, when I listened to it live at the time with the person I was with, that song meant so much more to me at that point in time. I don't know what, I don't think I ever told you this, but when we went to that Avenged Sevenfold concert with you had your still girlfriend or fiance now, Emily, and I had somebody that was the bastard demon of sex childs with me, and they played Little Piece of Heaven live. I was kind of like, it was weird. Like, I was there with you guys, but like, I swear I was in another dimension, like listening to it, because I was just like, oh my god, like, is that gonna be me? You know what I mean? Like,
It makes me feel weird because I technically was in another dimension. And thinking of that concert, so like this isn't appropriate for the podcast. I guess it is in a way because the podcast is me and you talking. We don't have a huge fan base, but
yeah,
like I was on a shit ton of Norcos at that concert.
yeah, well,
Which those were prescribed, but like I could barely function. So, but like when I think about that concert and where we are now, like we're sitting in the spare room in my house. I'm like,
it was a good. You know what's weird though with that concert is I had such a great time, but it was mainly because like I got to be with you, singing my two favorite bands.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like one of my two favorite bands of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they've grown on me. I can't say like since the beginning, but you know what I mean.
Well, what's cool about it is like Korn. That was always your favorite band. Like somebody's like, "Hey John, what kind of music you like?" Oh, Korn.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna sing fucking. What was it? Was it Dead Bodies Everywhere?
Yeah.
Grandma's porch during Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
Dead Bodies Everywhere. So that was your favorite band, and then like me, when I turned like 11, I found out about Avenged Sevenfold, and ever since then, like that became my band. Like when people are like, "What kind of music you into?" I'm like, "Man, fucking Avenged Sevenfold." And then they're like, "Oh, that's stupid backcountry shit." I'm like, "Fuck you!" And then all of a sudden, like I slowly pulled people over to the dark side.
Because I give you a lot of credit because you actually turned me on to that band. Because like when I listened to, it's considered new metal or metal or whatever. Like I listened to Korn, but I also added in like the Offspring. So it wasn't like I had a huge library, but I didn't have Avenged Sevenfold. Now I have Avenged Sevenfold. I'm like, all right, Offspring, you can go over here for a while. I'm like, I got Korn and all of them like going in here and stuff like that. And everything. So let me find where this is real quick, and then we'll continue in a second. All right, so to continue the conversation, where we left off with Titanfall, I wanted to talk about zombies real quick on Infinite Warfare, and then I have like a Veterans Day thing that I kind of told you I was going to say, and then we'll get our final thoughts. So like for the next 10 minutes, we can both talk, and then 5 minutes I'll talk or whatever. But Call of Duty Infinite Warfare Zombies, or Zombies in Spaceland, is so much freaking fun. Like, it's set back in the 80s time frame. All the characters are dressed up with 80s clothing. And the best part about it is, once again, I feel like in my heart of hearts, I should have been like a music composer or something, music related. Mm-hmm. Because in that game, they play old 80s like rock or hip hop and stuff like that. And it's fantastic. And the reason why it's fantastic is because it's all like apocalyptic type songs, technically, if you really listen to it.
Oh, yeah.
They got the final countdown, which is on there. I can't even think of all the ones, jeez. But it's so much fun because, like, it's more than just, like, zombies, because the zombies, have been part of the game forever, where you just upgrade, or, like, you don't even upgrade from before, but
it's just survival.
It's just horde. Survival. It's horde. But this one, like, you can upgrade your guns, which includes attachments, which includes like bonus camouflage and everything. Like my main gun, like the pistol that I have, has like a neon green with like a fully automatic attachment. So they make it to where even like your pistol could be a badass zombie killing machine. And then like throughout the game, or throughout the zombies game, I guess. Yeah, sorry. It's interactive in the spots where you can play. It's hard to do. I'm not saying it's easy. Where you can play arcade games,
like actual classic
Activision arcade games, and then you can ride a roller coaster, and it's so much fun.
Wait, did you do that?
Yeah, I actually know how to do it. So next time we play together, we'll do it.
Yeah, but I'm terrible. Like,
well, so am I. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We'll do it. No, and what it is when you ride the roller coaster, it's one of those old shooting gallery games. Mm-hmm. So you have to shoot these pop-up zombie targets, and how many you hit is how many tickets you get. But also they have clowns coming in every once in a while that try to kill you for real. And so you have to shoot those, so it's so much fun. And I've had a lot of fun playing it. And like when the funny thing is like I played that more than anything. Like you were joking with me. You're like, I saw you online. You had 0 trophies, but you're like a level 10 on zombies.
Yeah, because the trophies in zombies is like really hard to get, and then I played through the single player on normal difficulty, and I have like 59, 60 something percent of all the trophies, and I was like, fuck, like how are you level 10? And then I like looked up like the trophies, but yeah, it is. He's all in on this one, and I think the nice thing about this one, and it's the reason I couldn't get into like any of the zombie modes prior to it, is this one, like when you play solo, you can have a tutorial mode where it points out like what each thing does and how the burn cards work and how the weapon upgrades work and stuff. But then also like you notice it immediately, especially because not that long ago we tried playing the Black Ops 3 zombies.
Yeah.
And all the old school ones are like super fucking hard right off the bat. Like first round, easy peasy. You can melee kill everybody, which you can still do the first round on this. But there's something about this one that seems like the ramp up is a lot slower and more gradual, so that like people who weren't into it before can do a deep dive on it, and try it for the first time. People who, like me, could never get into it. Yeah. I always thought it was kind of hokey anyways because, like, headshots don't matter and stuff like that. But
yeah, so in zombie lore, technically, like a headshot. But you can get upgrades to where certain guns are more effective to kill. Like, the M1 Grand is in that game, which I think is cool. But, like, mine is upgraded. It has a full metal jacket. It actually has, like, hollow point or something. And then a secondary attachment where it, like, tracks the zombie. So when I do get a headshot, like from yards away, it'll kill him. Like even at a not too high of a level, but even at a level 6 or 7, it'll just take like 2 headshots and they'll be done. Because it gives me that chance.
Because you can upgrade it, and that's what's so nice. You can bank your money, so if you do die, you can get some of your money back. Like I guess it's not money; it's just point further money. I don't know.
No, it's money because you deposit it in ATM.
Yeah, and then also like let's say you deposited 2,000. You have some like awesome guns later on. Instead of having to go back to where those guns are and like pay for them again and stuff, you can literally go to the Lost and Found and for $2,000 retrieve all your weapons and stuff.
And that's another cool thing is like if you're playing a party or even by yourself and you have a quick revive or instant revive or whatever, is that you can actually pay or play arcade games again to get back into the game. So there's Activision games you can play again. There's a ball toss thing that you can play. So it's like super interactive in that way and everything. So I don't know. I've had a lot of fun. I think I'm at level 14 now. My goal is tomorrow is to play the Titanfall 2 single player. But like once I get bored with that, or if I won't get bored, but like once I complete that, I'm gonna be like zombies.
Which is like because I'm 100% whenever I buy like one of these shooters, which is the shooters where there's a campaign, co-op, multiplayer, whatever the situation may be, I'm always like, I feel so obligated to beat campaigns before I touch anything. Like I feel like I need to get these out of the way.
Yeah.
In Call of Duties, I even went to do that before like I start really getting into zombies with John because the multiplayer is fucking the same thing as last year, and that was terrible. But then the fucking single player in the Call of Duty captivated me.
Mm-hmm.
The characters are super interesting. Like, they're well acted. The story, and I think I texted you this, like, you could literally take all the future tech out of this and swap it for World War II stuff, and it could literally just be the World War II story about, like, the attack on Pearl Harbor, and then, good guys go to fight the bad guys, but I won't spoil it. But I think you, as a veteran, you should definitely check out that campaign.
I'll do it after Titanfall and Zombies. I'll do it sometime.
Even if you just played a mission here and there, I think you'll appreciate it strictly for the fact that, like...
The storytelling process?
But not just... It's, like, the fact that it's set in space. You're
in space.
Yeah, you're in 0G, you're flying around, space jets that control just like... You can have it controlling like a jet, or you can have it in, like, hover mode, and it's basically just like a first-person shooter at that point.
Yeah.
But it's still super grounded.
Mm-hmm.
and it's very like a military story, and it's very much like other Call of Duties have either been like, oh, how crazy and weird is this stuff, but this game tackles the idea of like what soldiers sacrifice better than any of them have since the first Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
First Modern Warfare, the mission, I believe it was Shock and Awe, where you basically get killed by a nuke. No other military shooter has really touched on that, besides Battlefield 1.
Yeah.
So I guess I can't really say that, but like this year, it's like 2 major games that have come out that are like, hey, like this is the real sacrifice of war. Like, yeah, we enjoy having fun playing these games,
but there's like a truthfulness
so,
behind all the
and so
stuff.
Even though it's like in the far-flung future where we're flying around in space and stuff, it still has a grounded story that like respects veterans, and there's a thing at the end credits that like, and anybody listening or watching whatever, you can laugh if you want, but there's a thing at the end of this campaign that made me cry.
Yeah.
And you can ask my fiance, like, she was like, that really got to you. And like, part of it, was respect for the military, and then the other half of it is I have a son, so there's this line in there.
Interloops, yeah.
Yeah, there's a line in there that like tore me apart. But maybe one day when you beat it, like, or you really could just watch that. It completely spoils the ending, but like,
I'll play it because I'd rather play it than watch. Because sometimes, like, I like watching gameplay videos with a commentary behind it, or like if it's showing me something I missed.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times I like to play it first. Like, for example, like I've been looking up all the Easter eggs. This is how sad the zombie thing is for me. All the Easter eggs on how to unlock on zombies. Like, but that was after I played it first. Because like now I'm at a point where I can get to a certain level by myself, and I can accomplish some things and upgrade and blah blah. But now I want to get into the more harder context, which is getting stickers, or they call it stickers, but it is stickers, I guess.
Like the quest items.
Yeah, get the quest items, like the side quest items and stuff like that. So, yeah, I look forward to playing it because, like, a lot of times, like, it's funny because when I first went to get Call of Duty, my brother felt bad, kind of talking me out of it in a way, but I told him, like, not to worry about it because ultimately I had fun with the game I chose, which is Titanfall 2. But now that I have it, thanks to Monica and my GameStop coupon.
Your fiance.
My fiance. Yeah, I recently got engaged, so there's that. So
gay?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not even going to cover how it all, but needless to say, it's not like, I don't know.
Next time.
Yeah. Next. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Anyway. All right. So, last thing I'll say is, like, when it came to that part that I'm talking about in the Call of Duty thing, is it has context for the game. It's like important to the story of the game, but like what it is, what happens, like what you could. The thing I'm talking about can be completely divorced from this game, and it can be divorced from the characters themselves, whether you're attached to them or not. What they do is like really fucking awesome, and it's like something that shows that like no matter how zany the studio gets with like the online multiplayer, when it comes to like the military, they do respect, and honor
all the
veterans.
All the things that
yeah.
Speaking of which, I guess like the final thing before we do our final thoughts is like Veterans Day is coming up for the States or the United States or whatever, and it's funny because I was kind of like doing a retrospective a couple of days ago when I was Camp Atterbury, and like people might think like Veterans Day is like a celebratory day, which it can be because like tomorrow, one, I don't have to work because I'm a state employee, but two, I get free food at certain restaurants or whatever, which is what it is, but it's exciting, sadly to say. When you go from eating MREs to that kind of food, you'll understand. But to me, like Veterans Day is always like a somber day for me, like because I get kind of depressed, and it's not depressed that like I miss some of the things that they directed me to do. But the thing that's hard for me to like fathom is to think that my friends are still serving and I'm not there necessarily to cover their six. You know what I mean? Because I was kind of, and a lot of my military friends say this, like, they always call me the bear. Because, like, I was always soft and fair, but when it came time to play, and when I mean play, do dangerous things for it, with dangerous people, I was on. There's no question. So ever since I separated, and the hardest thing was like one of my best friends. His name is Ragsdale. I'm not gonna give his first name because that's probably OPSEC, but he's been sending me stuff, and it's gave me a lot of introspective into thinking like it's weird to say because I love everything I have now. Like I have a great fiance, still have my cat. I get to hang out with you at least one day a week. And I got our parents. I'm blessed with all that stuff. But it's like pretty much not a day goes by where I don't think about my military friends. Like I say that, some people might say those kinds of things, but it's true for me because it's like it's hard for me to think like my buddy who's in Japan, probably not even doing like a really super dangerous thing, but like if something were to happen, then I wouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Like so, I just wanted to say like like Happy Veterans Day, and I look forward to eating some free Applebee's. But to me, it's never been because even for the old guys that might have seen even worse than me, you know what I mean? Because I've seen certain things, but obviously, trench warfare is something I've never seen. And obviously, when guerrilla warfare first began, which was in Vietnam and stuff, that's something I didn't see. I was more urban. I was into the urban warfare type things. Well, it's still, but yeah, I guess Revolution War was.
But I know what you mean, like being surrounded by a million of the Viet Cong.
Yeah,
and just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, like those, like I didn't get to see that. I was more urban warfare way at the, stuff like that. But all right, so that was more of like a serious tone. I just kind of wanted to get that off my chest for some reason. I thought I do have friends that are in the military listen to our podcast, so I just wanted them to get which they already know because I talk to them anyways. But so, any final thoughts? Because I have a plan for our next podcast I'll tell you about on my final thoughts. So you can go first.
Well, I guess just one thing, like, in terms of Veterans Day, as your brother, like, it's weird because I guess, like, usually when I see a veteran in public, like, I'll shake their hand and say thank you. But as, like, a family member and, like, how often we joke around with each other and stuff like that, like, never really thank you for your service. Like, I don't know why. Like, I know when you came back, I did, like, and I tell you, you did good stuff, but, like, it's weird because then you're just different because you're just like, oh, no, that's my brother John.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's a veteran, but, like, you never say, hey, thanks, John. But thanks, John. And I think, like, the best way, like, especially like, civilians can handle Veterans Day is look at it as, like, for, like, civvies, like, yeah, it's a bit tougher for veterans, but, like, for civilians, like, look at that day as, like, a celebration of the life and freedoms you have. It's almost like pre-Thanksgiving. Because these guys do what they did, we have Memorial Day as well, but whether they, all gave some gave all, regardless of the situation, because of what the veterans do, you have what you have. You have the freedoms you have. So I think the best way you can approach it is, like, live that day to the fullest. Like, have a great day, thank a veteran if you can, like, do whatever, but try to live that day because otherwise, why else are these guys doing this?
Yeah.
Why else are these guys being told to go where they're told to go and do what they got to do, if not for the people back home so they can live their lives, whether you're doing something dumb or smart or fucking wasting time or enjoying your time, like, just think about how lucky you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me as a civilian, that's what I look at Veterans Day as, is like, because of these sacrifices, this is what I have.
Yeah.
I have the ability to go to work, come home, do chores, see my family. I get to do that because I, live in a country where we have men and women willing to protect us.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say about Veterans Day. To go on yours, I know for you it's a bit harder, and thank you for your service, I think I don't say it as much because I think I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you're in a unique situation, whether you want to admit it or not. because you got to think, still only 1% of people volunteered to join the forces, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your brother just so happened to be part of that 1%. So it's hard to be like, see me differently because of that service per se, because even when I was in the service, I still acted towards you like my brother.
Yeah.
Not like a military personnel or something, because we're still family.
Yeah, we'd be online playing Left 4 Dead and like talking shit and stuff.
Yeah, so it was never like, hey Zach, I just fired off my M4 today, you know, something like that. It was all just like,
are you doing everything above board? All right, you take care now. Like, it was like, but I mean, regardless, like that's why I said it. Like, things I know I appreciate it. It's just, like, I was thinking about it. Like, after that Call of Duty thing, I was thinking about it. I was like,
it's different being a family member, because outside people, like, if I wear, not so much this hat, but if I wear my veteran shirt or something, not like I'm trying to tag myself, but I just love that shirt, they'll be like, thank you for your service, and I'm just like, okay. But, like, from my family members, I know they appreciate it, you know, because when my transition back, and this is another thing, God, it's just so military friendly, but heavy. My transition back, you guys made it a little bit easier for me than it was, or should have been, I guess. Well, you guys did. Employment and everything else. That
all
was
the other shit.
Yeah, all the other shit I had it involved. But you guys made it easy because you were like, welcome home, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. Let's, you know, blah, blah. But you're, you know, in retrospect to yourself, you know, to give yourself some credit, because this is something I always do for, you know, especially being my family member, is that you're in a very unique situation. So it's sometimes hard to fathom what really went on with my life, because I never really explained it. I tell you stories, but I never truly explain certain things. Yeah. And I don't think I could. No offense to your intelligence, but I'm saying, yeah. But you live with me, and we're brothers, so, you know, I appreciate you saying thank you, and it's kind of getting me choked up, because, you know, sometimes it is nice to hear it from you guys, because, like, when I joined, I never knew, like, why. Everyone's like, oh, serve my country, go to school, and I was just like, I just wanted to do it because I thought it was right. Like, there was nothing, you know, but when I think about it, I was like, well, I got my brother, you know, whether he's doing something good or not at home. Got my sister who doesn't really talk to me, but she's there. Got my mom and dad. You know what I mean? I'm like, if I have to carry them for 18 hours, you know, with a pack on my back for no godly reason, then at least I know they're there. You know what I mean? And they get to celebrate Christmas and stuff, you know, on the holidays. So my final thought, next podcast, and this is kind of like a little spoiler thing for our listeners, is I want to do an all retro themed podcast where we talk about retro games, movies if you want it, because we still got to talk about comics and shit, and that's where I want to. There's a huge comic thing that I just read I want to bring up with the first African American comic book thing. It actually wasn't bad, but it really is bad compared to where we are today with like Luke Cage and shit like that. So I just want you to think about that. You don't have to agree necessarily, but I think it'd be fun because I've been dying to bring up Awesome Possum since like the first.
We talked about it in the first episode.
Yeah, but we talked about combat cars. We talked about combat cars. I don't think we talked about Awesome Possum.
Well, we can talk about it. And also the fact that that's just a game about
recycling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you need
no. So, thank you for listening. Follow us on Facebook. I am sorry that all these have to go on YouTube right now. I have budgeted it out. We should be back on SoundCloud by next month, so it should be fine. It's not gonna cost much. It's just we do this for free, and we know there's not many of you that listen. Which the ones that do, we highly do appreciate. But it's kind of hard to like pitch in extra money just to have it on something. But YouTube is great because you can still listen to it on the go and stuff like that. So the only difference is you have to look at a picture. Well, you don't even have to, but
yeah, if we had some kind of video editing, you could literally just record you playing zombies for an hour and then put the audio over.
Yeah, so I just need to get a video card for Christmas, and that'll be the end of that story. So, but follow us on Facebook at the Ray Bros Nerd Show. Follow us on YouTube at the Ray Bros Nerd Show. And also on our Facebook page, I'll share the link to the YouTube site so you get directly into it. So
Oops.
stay nerdy.